one of those objects that oh, you look at it, it's just a white dress. But then you start to understand the backstory, and it has a whole new power and a whole new perspective.
November 21st, 1944, dawned gloomy and bitter in Jiangsu province in East China. I found myself in a small rice paddy, soaked to the skin, hopelessly entangled in a maze of bamboo and parachute cord, and covered by an expanse of white nylon that draped over the tall grasses like an untidy tent.
It's a day Lieutenant Colonel Dick Steiner would recount in text 30 years later. But the voice you hear reading it today is his son's.
My dad was a farm boy.
Growing up just outside of Gilmanton, Wisconsin.
He was attracted to the romance of being a pilot. Dad's math skills were so high that he was persuaded to be trained as a navigator.
With the Army Air Corps, known today as the Air Force.
The ordeal began with my crew in a B-29 on a routine bombing mission over the Japanese port city of Omura.
Steiner, the navigator aboard the Snafuper bomber.
Snafu is kind of military parlance for situation normal, all fouled up. I heard the ominous rumble of the 50s in the upper turret near my head and the anticlimactic rattle of spent casings falling into the collector bin near my feet. This ceased abruptly as the entire front cockpit erupted in acrid smoke and screaming fragments.
The bomber taking on enemy fire, forcing the crew into a life or death decision.
We all agreed that we should try to make it to a parachute landing in China.
The surviving crew members flew the crippled plane back across the China Sea.
As we reached a remote area near Hangzhou Lake, the final radio report went out. Factor 38, abandoning ship. I dropped through the hatch and experienced the sensation of absolute quiet. A great sense of relief and a dreamy, unreal feeling that I was being borne upward by the fragile fabric suspended above me.
Crashing down into the water and mud of the rice paddy below, a local farmer came to his aid.
My newfound Chinese friend, in spite of the language barrier, recognized the tiny replica of the stars and stripes on my shoulder.
It's an incredible story of survival and later of love.
Where he was flying from in China and India, he was about as far away from Wisconsin as you can be and still be on planet Earth.
Waiting patiently for his safe return home, his wife, Majel.
They were really joined at the hip.
While at war and after his brush with death, Dick Steiner sent his beloved wife a gift, the parachute that saved his life.
It says something about their bonds that he saved the parachute, sent it to her.
A gift with a condition. She make an evening gown from its precious and valuable silk.
She had the dress made and then sent him a picture back with her in the dress that he then carried as a good luck charm throughout the rest of the war.
So at a glance, it may look like just a white dress, but these souvenirs of service give us a look into the past.
We all collect souvenirs of some important part of our life. And for many of these veterans, their service was one of, if not the most important period of their lives. And so those stories need to be remembered so that they can inspire and instruct the current generation, but also generations in the future.
Dick would go on to serve for a total of 31 years.
He stayed in, remained on flying status as a navigator the entire time.
And every time he'd come home, Majel would be waiting for him.
I told him, Dad, you hit the jackpot. You were so lucky. How could you expect more than to spend 72 years with that wonderful woman?